Have you ever asked yourself, why do people break up? I know there can be so many reasons, but oftentimes before breakups happens, God usually reveals signs that the relationship is going to end, but we end up ignoring these signs. I want to show you 4 signs that you have been ignoring, and if you will watch closely, you'll be able to read the writings on the wall before the breakup will happen. But before we go into the signs of a heartbreak, I want you to know that God always sends early warning signs. But we can choose not to pay attention to these signs. How many times do we ask God's opinion before we go into a relationship? How many times do we seek His face to know His will concerning a new relationship? I bet we don't. Some of us accept the proposal, and then when we have issues or when we have a heartbreak, we run to Him for help. But remember that He wasn't the one that approved your relationship. When we need a new job, we ask Him. When we need a new car, we ask Him. When we need to pay the fees, we ask Him. But when we want to fall in love, guess what? We leave Him out of the equation. God is not your errand boy. He is the King of all the earth. Everything moves and breathes because of Him. He and only He is God. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5, the B part, acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He shall direct your path. There are many good people, but not every good person is for you. It's not every lady you should fall in love with. It's not every man that is your husband. We suffer sometimes in life because we don't ask the right questions to the right person. We ask our best friends for the opinion on whether we should accept a proposal or not. You ask your parents, your mentors, your teachers for the opinions, but we don't ask the one person whose opinion matters the most in this life. The sad part of this analogy is that when the storms arise and the relationship is shaken to its foundation, we then turn to God and blame God for allowing us to get into the relationship. How selfish we have been. God has been waiting all along for you to ask Him, but you were too busy in love, and now you run to Him and even blame Him for your own wrong decisions. Why didn't you run to those friends that gave you the advice? Why didn't you ask them to stop the heartbreak? You ran to God, and because of His love and His goodness towards you, He won't refuse you His help, even though you don't deserve it. But that's why He's God. And now, the first sign that you must watch out for before a heartbreak will happen is 1. Unresolved conflicts. Do you realize that when an offense is not spoken about, it can turn into bitterness, which can become hatred and later become a breakup? Have you heard couples who were separated speak about when they were in a relationship with the person whom they broke up with? You hear a lot of complaints and unresolved issues. You begin to ask yourself, why did they leave it to linger for long? Never sweep issues under the carpet. Make sure you talk about it, even if the other person refuses to speak. If you don't talk about it, the toxic thing will stay inside of you and begin to destroy your love for the person. Don't just talk to other people about it. Talk to the person you are in love with. Even if they don't want to listen to you, you must speak. I did not say that you should go about complaining about every little thing. The Bible calls that nagging. I am saying that you should be mature to talk about issues that may be a concern to you or your partner. If you can talk or you're too shy to speak about your pain, then I think you may not be yet ready for a relationship. Relationship is not for kids or for immature. It's for people who can handle matters of the heart. Number 2 sign, when there is beginning to be a lack of communication from both parties or one party, you can be sure that a relationship would not last or at least be strong if the level of communication reduces. It may still be there, but it may be hanging on a thread. Communication is the bedrock of a relationship. Even with God, the less you speak with Him, the farther you will feel Him from you. Sometimes, It's okay to take breaks from your relationship, maybe because you want to do something more important. I see couples taking breaks from each other instead of either dealing with the conflicts or seeking counsel from a person whom they have submitted to. When you take breaks from your relationship, it should be for the right reason. If you love a person, you will make out time to talk to them. Nobody is too busy to talk to anything or any person they prioritize. If he is always too busy to speak to you, then it's a sign that you are not on his priority list. You don't have to spend long hours on phone, especially if you are working class people, but you will at least chat or text. Communication is key to trust. A person's word is his bond, and if they can't hear from you every time, they begin to suspect that you are cheating on them. Number 3 sign: a worn-out sexual affection. Many couples never speak about this. They just keep managing. If your sexual affection for each other is deteriorating, it's a sign that a heartbreak is on the way. You must not only be spiritually attracted to the person God has given to you, you must be sexually attracted to them. If you have a worn out of sexual desire, you may want to go out with your partner for a vacation. Maybe a change of environment will save you. As carnal as this may sound, this is one of the top listed reasons why couples end up in divorce. Sit down and address this matter. Talk to your pastor or someone who is more experienced. What are you doing wrong that is killing the sexual desire? If your sex life is no longer in existence, then this is a strong truth that there will be a divorce. When you don't see yourself trying to appear attractive to him or her, then you are slowly drifting away. You know when something just feels off and you don't know what's wrong. Things that used to bother him don't bother him anymore. He stopped caring. You must speak about this. Don't assume that it's normal. By the time you may realize, it may be too late. Heartbreaks only happen because people ignore the red flags and choose to stay there. Be wise to look out for these signs. If possible, you and your partner should listen to these and assess yourselves.